Well, hi there guys, welcome to another pop science experiment. My name's Professor Anne, this is Professor Raquel. So we're going to be lots of exciting stuff today. Going to make sure that you need a notepad and a pen or a pencil so that you can write down your observations on this one. Really good and really interesting. I'm now going to pass you over to Professor Raquel. She's going to run through some safety things with you. So over to you.
Yeah. Welcome all. So yes, health and safety, ever important as usual. So I dare say you're going to need a bit of adult supervision, especially since it's involving vinegar. So let's wear protective clothing as well, or your old clothes, which you don't mind if they did get ruined. Be aware, because we are using liquids, of slips, trips and falls, especially on surfaces. And I shall pass you over to Anne again.
Right then guys, so for this experiment you don't really need a lot, but it will probably have some amazing results. So you will need an egg for this one. So there's the egg. It can either be raw or cooked. We're using a raw one, so egg there. Vinegar, so we're using distilled malt vinegar for this one. You can use any vinegar, and a glass. So basically that's all you will need for this experiment. So Professor Raquel is going to explain what you do, and I'm going to actually do the experiment.
Yeah. So just before we do get started, this is a several day experiment, which will be broadcasting at each stage. So firstly, what Anne's going to need is, she needs an egg and a tall drinking glass. So that's step one. So we put the egg in the glass.
Very gently.
Yeah.
So it's good to have a glass with a wide rim so you can actually get the egg inside there.
And then all what Anne's going to do now is pour the vinegar. So it covers the egg completely. And then all what we're doing is leaving that, just to be careful not to spill it anywhere.
Yeah, make sure you put the top straight back on the vinegar so you don't knock it over.
Yep, so just be careful that it doesn't spill anywhere on that side. And also what I do, because vinegar is a very strong smell and you don't want to gas your entire place out. So I put it in a safe place, but also cover it. If you can find something plastic, a plastic cup or something, I'm going to use this and just place that over the top, and it'll not be as smelly wherever you're putting it. So what we're going to do, so the next stage is we'll let that soak overnight and make any sort of observations. So does it change? Is there bubbles in it? Yeah? When the bubbles have stopped, the next step is we rinse the egg after 24 hours or overnight, and get all the foam and water out of it. So run it under cold water and then put it back in, dry it, put it back in the glass and pour vinegar in for another 6 days. So I'm going to leave it there because I'll explain the rest when it comes to it. So till you see me again.
And me.
Yeah. We look forward to it.
Bye guys. Well, hi guys, welcome to the second part of the rubber egg experiment. We're going to be talking in the background on this video so that you can see exactly what happens in this one. It might be a bit messy, it might work, it might not. It is after all an experiment. So you should have your egg that has been pickling in the vinegar for around about 6 days. Quite a long time, but it needs to be fully pickled. So you need to get your egg, which is the lovely Raquel's going to do, and you need to rinse the egg off now. So you will need a bowl with some water in. Once you have your egg out, it should feel pretty weird.
As you can see, it has. Have you noticed the skin? So part of it already come off. similar to the experiment last week, but if you notice inside, you can actually, it's become slightly transparent. So it's worn away the egg. As you can see, the egg yolk is moving
like
around. Yeah, so I'm going to rinse that off and get as much of this material as possible. What I will say is with using liquids, health and safety as usual. But also what I'm going to say is you're going to need a bowl full of water to rinse it off. And I'm using a baking tray because we're trying a bouncing part of it, which might go wrong. Might definitely go wrong. And as you can see, I've washed most of it off and the yolk is moving inside.
So you can have a go at squeezing it now.
Yeah. So part of this is squeezing it, and that feels a bit like one of those squeegees, what you have those toys.
That rubber ball. And shake it gently.
Feels very plastery. But yeah, don't notice any different with shaking it. Yes.
So now is the bouncy ball time. So to test out your new creation in the sink, or we've got a baking tray, by dropping it from a few inches high and see what the result is. So have a go.
Yes. I'm moving my bowl slightly further in. So what we're doing first is dropping it from a few inches.
Wow.
And then each time we're going to put it a bit higher. As you can see, it's definitely bouncier.
You can now astound your friends with this one.
And there you have it. So yeah, as you can see with the shell casing.
It's not a shell anymore.
Definitely not a shell.
It's like a membrane.
And that is what it's done, the vinegar, over. Feels a bit like skin.
Oh gosh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a bit like a balloon. Like a rubbery balloon, does it?
It rips easy.
It rips easy, yeah.
But yeah, it feels like when your skin's peeling, that sort of texture or balloon.
After you've been sunburnt and your skin peels off.
So there you have it. And the yolk, let's have a look. Because the yolk feels slightly weird as well. It's changed colour to usual. As you can see. Can you see that in the camera? Yeah. So it's changed colour. It's more deeper orange. And it feels...
It's like rubbery. It's not...
Feels very... Yeah.
Oh gosh, yeah. It's really rubbery. It's not...
But yeah, the texture's completely changed.
It's sticky. It's a bit like jam. Kind of a jammy marmalade type feel.
Yeah. So there you have it. I shall just wash my hands, so I'll turn the video camera off just to wash my hands, and then we shall do the explanation behind it. So there you have it. So the explanation around the rubber egg, so that was the rubber egg experiment, is a chicken's egg is covered in a shell that is made mainly from calcium carbonate. That's a complex arrangement of carbons, calciums and oxygen. Regular vinegar is made of acetic acid. You all know when you mix vinegar and baking soda, what a strong reaction you get. The shell is made of the same carbonate and will react like soda, only much less extreme. The little bubbles you see in the water are made of carbon dioxide gas, just like the bubbles from your vinegar and baking soda volcano, and I shall pass you for the other half.
Hi there. Once the shell is gone, the vinegar will cross over the semi-permeable membrane through a process called osmosis and slightly inflate the egg. This process also pickles the egg by hardening it up. The toughening of that membrane is what lets you bounce it on the counter. Roll it along the floor, and whatever trickery, science you want to do with it, but just make sure that you don't get egg all over your mum's kitchen floor when you do this.
So yes, so that's it for another experiment. Tune in next week for some more. Bye.
Bye for now.